Hey everyone, Casey here. This is Trade 7. Sorry for taking a little break, but I wasn't getting a lot of feedback, so I wasn't sure if you guys were interested. But here's the account. We're still the same account number. This is everything's legit and above board here. So here we go, Trade 7. This is currently about to break over on the MACD, and we're currently in a strong downtrend. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can see. We got down. Pretty strong down move, so it's moving down. We can see that, okay? And it looks like it might want to break out, but we're into a strong resistance, so I would expect maybe a pushback down here. There's two ways to trade this. Number one is shorting on a pushback into resistance. Resistance, 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 resistance. So a pushback, boom, continuation of the trend. We always know we like to trade with the trend. Right? But we also know that trends end. And how do trends end? Well, when a trend ends, it breaks a resistance. Let's just show you what it would look like if a trend ended. It breaks this up and then up. So that's what a trend looks like. We always want to look at and take all of our trades in context with the market, right? You could be looking at the charts, but you want to look at what it looks like in the context of the market. So right now, there's a couple options for me here. I could try to catch a short move and just short it here and then try to catch down here, or expect it to come back up and then break like that. That's one move. Okay, that's one possibility. I could trade it that way. Another possibility is just to take it here long and expect a break to the upside. We do have resistance here and here, and we could try to catch that move and then know it'll come back and then try to catch that move. Patience. That's one of the lessons, that's the word of the day, patience. Patience in trading is critical. The other possibility, another possibility is a pop up here, a move down here, buy here, and then get in. Or buy here, and then maybe buy again and get in that way, because that's a possible move, right? So we know what the possible moves are. Let's go look at the daily chart to give us some more context. Remember, context of the market, context of the market. So we got a nice daily support level and a really strong bullish engulfing candles. And if you attended my candlestick pattern training, you know that bullish candles are really powerful, and we got one right here. So we got momentum. We got the MACD about to cross. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab one trade right here. So we're going to do a custom buy, and I'm going to put my stop. Let's see here. Put my stop here. Move it down just a little bit and put my take profit there. I got about a 1-to-1. Let's see here. And I'm just going to grab it. Okay, I'm going to grab it. Now, I'm going to use this trend line as my stop loss. So you can see that there I am. I'm in the trade. I'm going to use the trend line as my stop. Okay. And if it breaks below this trend line, I'm going to get out early, which will protect my risk. And I do have some risk here because there's resistance. I'm buying into resistance. So I know ahead of time that this could get pushed back. So I'm willing to allow this to come back into this trend line. I'm willing to allow it to come back into the trend line and add another position. Okay, and that's just part of my trading plan. I came up with an advanced trading plan, and that's what I'm looking at doing. Now, another thing, if I do that, if I add a second position, I will probably use this moving average as my guide, or the MACD as my guide, and try to take profit here and then maybe allow my second position to run. Or I could then, if I believe that this is a breakout, which it looks like it might be, then I could stack positions. I could go in here. Let's just do a scenario, okay? Let me clear this out. So this is a possible scenario. It comes up here, doesn't break, comes back down, turns. I then add another position at the turn. So now I have two. Take my profit here on one, move the stop loss to break even on the other one, okay? Then when it comes back down, I now have my stop loss here and my entry here, but then if it comes down here, hits this trend line, and then pops back up, I'll then add another position again. So now I'll be back to two positions, and then I'll take one here, and then I will then allow the last one to trail and see how far I can possibly go. So that's my plan. We'll see how it goes. I'm pausing it right now. I've already been talking for 5 minutes, blah, 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 blah. But hopefully this is enjoyable to you, and there we go. All right, guys, Casey here, just checking in. It's really chugging right along. I'm currently breaking the trend line as we speak, and as you know, this is still a pretty heavy resistance area because we're right at yesterday's high, and so there's going to be a battle for buyers and sellers in here. Let me zoom up so you guys can see. There's going to be a battle for buyers and sellers right here because of this. This was yesterday's high. That's a key resistance point. And so anytime you run into these levels, you're going to get a pretty heavy influx of buying and selling. And so we're going to find out who's going to win this battle. Right now, the momentum is with the bulls, right? The bulls are the ones in charge. And so that gives us a little bit of an advantage going in. Yes, it's a downtrend. I get that. But the reason I say the bulls are in charge is because of these momentum candles right here. And so that gives me a little bit of encouragement that it's going to continue on. Now, of course, I never trade as if I know what's going on. I make the best decision and always manage my risk. Like I said earlier, that patience was really important. Waiting for your setups, doing a little bit of pre-market analysis is so important, but also risk management. Risk management will keep you in the game when you have a bad day, because guess what? Everybody has bad days. I have bad days. I make bad decisions. But the one thing that I never do is I never allow myself to let a bad day make me make bad risk decisions. And so right now I'm just taking the trade. It looks good. Everything looks good. And I think things are going to work out, but we're going to let you guys know. So I'm just going to pause it and we'll see how this thing plays out. Hey everybody, I wanted to tell you a little technique that I use here. So the trade is still going up, but this is something I recently taught in my price action course, and it's an interesting strategy. Let me just show you what's going on. So I usually do this on daily candles, but this is a 15-minute. So take a look. When you get a pin bar, first of all, you need a direction of a trend and then a pin bar. Okay, and then the second candle, if the pin bar happens and the second candle is a red doji like this, then when the price breaks out of the top, then you buy. Okay, and that is a specific price action strategy that I use to help me get into trades that are trending. Sometimes when you're in a trending trade, you don't know when to get in. And this is a little breakout setup. And so I'm going to try that now just to give you guys a little bit of bonus training in this video. So we're going to put our level just right at, I'm just going to put it just a touch above. And I'm going to put my stop at the same place. So it's going to be a little bit smaller of a trade. But it should be pretty interesting. So right now I'm currently up pretty nicely on this. And so I'm happy with it, but I'm going to add to the position as the trade moves in my favor. And so if it breaks out of the top here, I will then add to that position. And then additionally, if it does come back down here and I see it bottom out and pop, I will add to that position as well. So there we have it. A little bit of bonus training on this trade. We'll see how it works for us. Okay, so I placed the order and I'm just waiting for it to trigger, and I'm going to pause it and I'll keep you guys updated on the trade. Okay guys, trade is going in. I just triggered. I just showed you a few minutes ago, and right now I've got a nice profit on the first one, and the second one is just hanging in there, going around break even. And so if we look at this now on an hourly time frame, we've got a lot of momentum, and price just broke yesterday's high. And so as I had mentioned earlier, there's going to be a lot of buyers and sellers, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. It's just hanging in there, and it's waiting for a winner to emerge. And if the winner doesn't, if the bulls don't take over here, it's going to pop down, and then there'll probably be a new battle here looking for more buyers to push it higher. I will be wary of this trend line. And so if I can get a pop-up into this trend line, I may just close both of these positions because I'm pretty happy with the trade. And one of the things I wanted to mention about this strategy This particular one is when the candle closes above this high, which it did, usually I will then close it about 3 or 4 candles later. And so a lot of times it'll come and it'll just give it a nice little burst, 3 or 4 candles. And if that's the case, by the time that 3 or 4 candles are done to the upside, I'd be more than happy to close this position at a very nice win. So again, just analyzing the trade, thinking sharing my thoughts about what I think as I'm trading, but I'll keep you guys posted. All right, guys. So as you can see, we hung out, and now we're trying to break one more time. I like the momentum that I'm seeing. I think what's happening is a lot of shorts got trapped up in here. Okay, so yes, there is a resistance point, and I bet there's going to be some more battling happening, but some shorts are really getting nervous because every time in here, short traders were getting in, short traders were getting in, and there's going to be some more short traders getting in here. And so as they start to panic, well, maybe they're not all going to panic. Some might panic. I use the word panic. That's a little extreme. They might not be panicking, but they are going to start taking losses. So they put their stops above these levels, and then that can accelerate further gains. Then more buyers are jumping in because buyers are like, okay, it's going to break, it's going to break. And then they're trying to push it. And then that momentum keeps it going. So right now I've got a really solid trade on. I'm stacked with 2 positions. And I will probably start locking in some profit here really soon. And if I can get a nice strong burst, it actually could pretty easily go right into the target, which would be ideal. And so I want to give myself the ultimate possibility for that. I do want to be aware that this trend line is a real trend line and could stop things, but I'm going to be watching for a nice burst. And so again, patience is really critical, and it's a hard balance. It's a really hard balance in trading on when to take your profit and when to let it run. I mean, that's one of the most difficult things that a trader can do. And a lot of it, to be honest, is just what I'm talking about. You talk yourself through the trade and you learn and you take notes. And so if I'm taking this trade right now and it ends up not going in my direction, let's say it comes out and I end up taking a loss, well, I'm up really nice on this trade. Actually, I'm up about $120 right now. And so if it ends up turning out to be a loser, I'm going to take note of that, and I'm going to remember, and I'm going to just gain experience. Every time we make a trade, we gain experience. Every time we do a trade, we get better if we learn from it. One of the quotes that I heard from a boxer, and I can't remember his name, but he said, "I don't lose, I learn," right? And I like to look at that as the same way in the markets. I don't lose, I learn. I'm always moving forward. I'm always growing. I'm always taking an opportunity to get better. And so if this trade doesn't work out, well, I'm going to learn from the example. And hopefully by sharing this, you guys can learn something as well. All right, well, I'm going to pause it, and we're going to keep checking in on this trade. Okay, here I am checking up again, and you'll see that the price has just really been moving consistent. It's been moving really nice. And so I'm pretty happy with this trade, how it is. It's getting close to the end of the day, so I'm going to just close it. There is one other thing I thought I'd share with you that's kind of a little trick that you can do to help you know when to close a trade. You can add a moving average here. And one that I like to add to my charts on occasion is an 8 EMA, exponential moving average. And you can use that as kind of a trailing stop. It works pretty good on a nice move because it gets you out before giving up too much profit. So if I was going to just allow this to follow the 8 EMA, pretty nice trailing stop. But since it's the end of the day, I'm pretty close to my target. I'm just going to close this out. And I'm closing it right now. And so this is a pretty solid trade. It was a total of about $150 on the day, and I'm pretty happy with that trade. So there we go. Positions are closed, and I was able to close it out today. So good day. hopefully you guys found that interesting and useful. Trade number 7. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see. But thanks, and we'll see you guys soon.